Here we have our cool, awesome beam.
I'm in the middle of the laser. Yeah, so we're done laminating the beam now. So we're more or less done laminating everything. All the structural parts in the beam and the doghouse are done. So the next step now is that we're gonna trim off the flanges and just make everything flat according to the laser, and then we're gonna probably demold it from the roof mold to see how the top side look like. And to do that we will have to flip it, or yeah, to see it we have to flip it, but then we cannot do inside, so we have to take everything out to do that. But before we will even do that, I'm not sure, will we do that first and then try to lift the mold off, or?
We cannot get it out.
Yeah, the mold is too wide, yeah?
Yeah. We need
to get it out of the mold first.
Yeah, but we have to lift it first to remove the beam part of the mold.
The sides are vertical, there are no release angles or anything like that. That will probably be quite stuck, so we need to take those parts away. Then we can pop it off the mold, hopefully. Then we can take it out.
And turn it.
But when we're still in the mold, we're gonna just cut off and trim everything so it's flat. We're gonna take it to the boat later on to trim the front sides, as they will have to be shaped according to the deck. And these sides just need to be straight, so have straight reference basically.
And the flanges cut off.
This is our first cut through the carbon to see how it actually looks like, what we have done. This is maybe not the super representative part because it's just the flange where we haven't cared that much. Here you can for sure see some small air voids.
That must be in the first layer.
Yes. This part looks rock solid.
It's working by itself now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it on the camera, but it's just constant.
It's ready to release. Things are happening. The beam is already coming up. It's just in the middle over there where the roof is still stuck. No last. Följ där fortfarande, eller hur? Ja.
Lördags. That didn't take that long.
No, that was a bit intense as well, but fun. I think we just need to have to lift it this side as well, just to see the beam a bit. It's way much heavier on this side. I think it turned out really well so far.
It will be fun to see when we can remove this final piece of mold for the beam and see the actual shape of it.
This part, yeah. I think we'll do that when we turn it around.
Yeah, exciting to take it out and turn it around. I think we have some cleaning up to do before we can get it out of the garage port. Look at this, the beam goes here. And then look at the shape here.
Very cool.
trim the edges, not to the final way, just to get rid of all this mess. We're gonna do the final cut later.
So we have taken the doghouse out, flipped it to its right position, worked a bit with removing pieces of the mold that was stuck. I don't know why, but the piece that was onto the beam was really difficult to remove. We more or less had to grind it off. But super exciting to get it out.
Yeah.
And I think it looks really good.
Of course, the edges are going to be trimmed further later,
yeah,
so
of course.
they might be looking a little bit weird right now. But
yes, it looks like expected, right?
yeah, it looks like the drawing.
Okay, so next step with the doghouse is to take it to the boat and trim the bottom lines of the wall to the deck. And then we're gonna laminate a small flange as well that we will use as attachment point for the forward part of the doghouse. But as it's still quite cold outside, we cannot really do it right now. So now we will park this project for a while and start another one.
What is that?
And that is our arc that we're gonna have for solar panels in the back of the boat. So that's gonna be really exciting.
And we also have mast and rigging stuff and steering stuff.
It's gonna be really exciting to take it to the boat.
I think the curvature of the roof looks really cool.
Mm.
Didn't really see it outside as much when we were out in the sun.
I mean, obviously this side is not as nice because we haven't really grind all the residues of the mold off because yeah, we're not gonna work with this for a while, and we don't want it to be grinded because then we'll just attract a lot of dirt in the grinded surface. So, but I mean, I think all the curvatures and radiuses and everything feels really nice already out of the mold.
And this aft area is gonna be a little bit rounded and shaped as well. It's not gonna be squarish like it is now.
Now we're gonna trim it off something like this. We haven't really decided yet.
Yeah, we don't want to trim it right now. Before we want to have it by the boat and see how it looks. We'll be jumping up and down on the roof today also a little bit. When working with it, it feels stiff.
It should be as well.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very interesting to try to load it a bit when we have it installed on the boat to see how much it flexes and what happens with it on the load. I think it will perform well. It feels super stiff. So the other day I drilled the holes for the pad eyes where we will attach the main sheet. Unfortunately I didn't have the camera with me, but basically what I did was that I 3D printed like a jig with a hole pattern that also helped out trying to get a hole that is really perpendicular to the surface, as it's very difficult when you just when you're just drilling without any support to get it at a 90-degree angle. So I used this one, and I think it turned out pretty good. We ended up in with a good hole pattern on the other side as well. It's 100 millimeter thicker, so it's quite deep to drill. It's a bit less as we have the chamfer on the bottom side. Ideally, we want this hole pattern on the other side as well, and we're pretty close to that. So I think that will be good enough. And then we're gonna have a backing plate pretty similar to this one, but without the actual eye here on the other side to distribute the force to the whole insert. We need to investigate our furling profile because we have an offset between two, where it's one of the joints further down is quite bad.
Yeah, so we want to see if we could get that removed. We tried to do that during summer, but it was a bit difficult. So we'll do that now, hopefully. We get it loose and then we see how big issue it is.
Okay, so this is the bad joint. You can see that it's been chafing quite a lot here and here in the ends. And I'm not sure how much it's been chafing on the internal part. Yeah, I guess we'll just try to continue to keep taking everything apart and we'll see if it's savable.
So this was where it stopped for us. Last time we tried to do this, the screws got damaged. Way easier to do it now, more controlled, and everything is on land. Woo! This was the tool to use, whatever it's called in English.
Glide hammer, maybe, I don't know. Sounds a bit like Swinglish, but...
Okay, one out, one to go.
I think we managed to get this one out without really damaging it. Ooh. Why is it so difficult to rotate? Okay, so as part of going through the furler, I would like to also have a look at this swivel. I'm not fully sure how the design of this one looks like, but I assume it's I mean, you can see that there's an oil seal here. There's some cover up here, and I assume it's an oil seal underneath, and then one or two bearings inside. And there's not really any bad noise or anything from it. Spinning it, it's quite a lot of resistance. But I guess it will also be quite a lot of resistance from those two quite big oil seals as well. But you can clearly see up here that it's been leaking some grease from inside probably, and the oil seal on the lower oil seal actually looks quite good. Yeah, let's start open it up and see what we find. So I got the first cover out, and now you can see how damaged the upper oil seal is. It's all greasy there, and looks like it has the steel frame in it has corroded. So next step, I guess, will be to figure out a way to get this one out. I think I'll try to probably drill some holes and get some screws in, and then try to glide hammer it out. First seal out. It came out quite easily actually with this. I'm not fully sure what the name of it is, if it's glide hammer or let's call it a glide hammer. I actually never had one of these before. We bought it for when taking apart the further sections, and there it was super useful, and it was actually really useful here as well. So really a tool you should have in your toolbox. You can actually see that there is some water mixed with the grease inside. So next thing is to try to remove this huge clip here that holds the bearing in place. Oh, that is a serious clip. I think it was a good size wearing goggles, because removing this one, it was under a lot of tension. Unfortunately, I don't have the tool like the inverse tool to take the inner clip out, and to be honest, I think I'll actually try to buy bigger tools, because you need a lot of force to take this one out, and I really don't want to lose it and potentially damage the surfaces that's supposed to seal here. So I think I'll stop here today and buy some proper tools. So we're back with the correct tool for clips on the shaft. I'm so scared, it's so much tension on them. I dropped it once, but I think I managed to get it out without damaging anything. So at this point it should be possible to just press this inner shaft out now, I think. The bearing itself feels really nice, so I've actually started to consider if we might just don't push it out and just replace the upper seal instead. Add some new grease in here as well, because it doesn't feel that bad. And I know there were some water in here, which is of course not ideal. I can't see any signs of corrosion or anything. There's always a risk taking this one out as well. I think I have to think a bit about that. So I did some work the other day, finalizing some parts at our hydraulic press at my job. One of them being pressing in the seal for the swivel. We ended up decided not taking it completely apart, changing the bearing and the lower seal. Let's hope that won't come back to us, but it felt very nice and it looked very good. We cannot just replace or change everything. We're not made out of money, so we ended up with this decision. I'm just going to put on the mounts and the shackle, and then we will put this back on the furler when we put the furler back together. Also regarding the service of this one, I mean, this is actually quite easy to access on the boat as well. We'll just loosen the bottom part of the forestay, and then you can slide this one off if it would fail later on. So yeah. So between working with the Doghouse, we're also trying to sort out some other stuff or problems on the boat, and one being the furler or furling sections on the headsail. So here are two foiling sections where the joint between them are not very tight, causing the swivel to get stuck when hoisting the sail, and it also doesn't feel very nice to have them this loose. So this is a bad joint which has been chafing both the foil section and the joiner as well. This is a tight one, how it should be. So we need to try to fix something here, and I mean the obvious way would be to buy a new foil section and a new joiner, but unfortunately they're not produced anymore and not available. There is a set for sale on eBay, but it's very, very expensive to ship it because it's from the US. So the idea is that I will try to, you can basically see here that the material has been shaved off. The idea is to try to cut this one off, probably just here, to get a new nice surface here, and then try to, I don't know, maybe just add some epoxy on clean these surfaces off, add some epoxy on it, and then try to just shape them to the foiling section to get a really nice fit again. It's a bit of a test. I'm not sure we will succeed really, but if it succeeds we save quite some money, so that would be nice. Okay, so cut off a section just to the first hole. I'm not sure if it's very easy to see on the camera, but I think the cross section area got way more distinct, so to say. Obviously we're losing some of the foil section length there, but at least I hope we should be fine with that. Quite sure we don't need the full length, so it should be fine. I think we managed to get a tight fit on these two now. These two on this one, but on both sides. Now we just have to hope that the epoxy stays in place. Hopefully it does. Now we just need to drill some new holes for locking screws. Then I think we're good to go with this one. Can mount it back on the forestay.